So in this video, we're going to look at the reassembly of the TV after we have put the LEDs back in place, whether from the first video as we took them out and maybe you bought some new strips and replacing them, or in the second video as we replaced our own surface mount LEDs on the strips that we had. And at this point, we just got to reassemble the TV and test. So guys, back now after repairing these strips and sticking them back down with the tape. After cleaning them back, they stuck down pretty good. I may have to get some more double back tape on some places. But I just simply plugged them in. On this particular model, we do have line-up marks. So I was able to line them up and slide them into the edge connector, and we got everything plugged back in. We tested them all individually on the bench, but now we're going to test them with the power supply. It's all hooked up. I'm going to press the power button. And there we go. So I'm liking that. That's nice. Cut it back off, and I may put some strips of tape across just to keep these from falling out, which I think they adhered pretty well. So what I'll do is I'll go back and put some double back tape in some places. I'll put a few strips and we'll start reassembling. This is our top as marked. It's hard to mess up with these because they'll line up. You really couldn't get your side to side messed up either with the cutouts. And don't forget to put your spacers back in the diffuser. If you use pliers like I did to mash them, you may have to take a small screwdriver and open these back up just a little bit on the opening. And they should pop right back in, like so. Just going to put back all the diffuser layers and filtering. I'll mark the top on these as well. Just line it up with the tabs. It's important when you store these to keep them dust free, keep them covered up. Make sure no dust or contaminants get in here behind the screen. I'll mark this one at the bottom, this one at the top, left and right. And of course, before we put those metal frames on, we're going to put the frame for our LCD back in place. Just work our way around to the clips. It just pops down like so. And now for the delicate part, we put down this LCD, the screen itself. Just always making sure that we have it turned the right direction. I had taped our connector boards so they wouldn't get damaged. And they would just flip back down and connect like so. And even though it's kind of obvious, these metal strips, after you get the screen in place, these metal strips, of course, have a protective strip. So that would go towards the screen if you did forget to mark it. Of course, it's better to do our sides first. Our top and bottom actually cover over the tab on the sides. So we got our left and right on. Now we'll do our top and bottom. And then these two spots here will also be left blank. We'll put the silver screws in those spots after we snap this bezel on. There we go. So now after putting those silver screws in the iffy spots, the silver or the lower profile head screws around, I'm now going to flip it over. And we're ready to put the back on. Now we have it flipped back over and ready to do our connections and our board mount. And we're ready for the cover. So these do have the little end tabs that go inside the connector, and it's got a line-up mark. So when that connector closes back, it should be right across that line. Same thing with this one. Just like so. We also have a connection here, as well as we got to mount our control panel back. And we also have some of these brackets to put back on. One of which is under the speaker right here. Just like so. Of course, these screws are going to be our more coarse plastic threaded screws. Of course, our control panel just pops back in as we removed it. Goes down to the corner and just pops in, like so. Make sure our speakers are down. All our connections and cables are plugged in. And of course, after everything looks good, I'm going to go ahead and put this backing plate on. It's got line-up pins. Tells us that M3 screws go here. One's like so. And of course, we have two more with coarse threads, with plastic type threads that go in here. So now for testing, I'm going to hook the AC power up. I'm going to turn the power on, and we should see around the edges and these holes, they should light up. And there we go. Lit up, lit up. Hopefully you can see these spots. This is glowing. I got my meter on volts DC. Go to a good ground, and our voltage out one pin, 102.3, and solid, very steady. Voltage out 2, which would be on pin 7, the last pin, 102.1, very solid. So very happy with that. I'll try to have a picture up here of what I'm looking at on this board. I know in the video you can't see the screen printed label here. So that test is good. I'm going to put the cover back on. Just snaps back in. Now we've got to put our screws in. So we do have a few of the small number 1 screws. One of them goes there where the power connector is. The other 2 go right here. It goes into this metal. I got all 3 of those. We got 2 more that's got the flat. They're flat and not the dome head. I know one goes here. Up under where I stand the mount onto the mounting plate. One goes here. And one more goes there. And the rest of these will be number 2 Phillips. Most of them are the shorter, like 1/4 inch variety. The 4 long ones will go here to mount our stand back on. So we'll put these in and we'll be right back. Didn't lose any screws. I will have a few links down in the description of the video below of the LEDs that I chose to use. Also some links that may help you through Shop Jimmy for the particular replacement strips if you choose to do so, even though I didn't. I trust them to have the right strips and things of that nature. And if you're interested in their tester or their SMD LED removal tool, I'll have that in the description as well. I recommend on your backlights that you do turn down your intensity no more than like 80%. It'll help a lot with the life of your LEDs. So hopefully you found these 3 videos helpful, from the disassembly and testing to the repair of the LED strips to the reassembly and final testing of the VIZIO TV. If you found these videos today to be helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching.